So,
Just to finish out this conversation, and to get outside of the play in the book, I sometimes come across your Twitter and see these core conversations that you have, and I notice that you sometimes give these sarcastic answers to these stupid questions that they put on there.
uh,
But I'm just looking here now and seeing how you go into great detail about the origin of Italian American spaghetti, and I thought that, that was an interesting character facet for you. Um, but you can go on and declaim about the universe as you're doing right now and about your literary universe, but then you spend 4 paragraphs talking about Italian American spaghetti. So that's interesting.
well, it was.
But I also wanted to say, I've noticed you talking about the political election as well, and you can address my first point as well. But I wanted to ask you what you think the eventual primary will result in. Do you think that Sanders is going to get in? And I think that if he gets in, he'll probably beat Trump. But I don't. I don't foresee his victory. I think that they'll rig it against him.
Well, if Sanders does get the Democratic nomination, he'll beat Trump, because I can tell you here, even in Texas, there are people who would have voted for Bernie Sanders who would never have voted for Hillary Clinton, but went to Trump instead because he is outside. Now, these are people that are not that bright if they can't tell the difference between Sanders and Trump. But the last 3.5 years, they've been shat on by Trump. I'll give you an example. When Obama was president, Jessica and I were getting back usually $1,000 or more in our tax returns. I just did my tax returns last year. I think I got back $300. This year, just this week, I only got back $61 that I'm getting back. So it's like, the middle class is getting screwed, while Amazon and Jeff Bezos aren't paying a dime, literally not paying a single cent last year. I think they're paying now $10 million, even though they made $120 billion in profit. But regarding Sanders, I still think that the Democrats are going to try to screw him. But the good thing now is Sanders seems to be much more aware of the thing, and I think that he knows that he's got to get 51% more of the delegates, because they're going to try to screw him. But if the Democrats try to screw him, they will lose, and it will be probably a blowout as big as Lyndon Johnson had over Barry Goldwater in '64, or Reagan had over Carter in '80. And I'm talking about Trump would probably win 45 plus states, and it would be a blowout if they steal it from Sanders.
Pete Buttigieg against him, of course it's going to be a blowout.
Well, any of them. But Bloomberg with the billionaire, he's the Democratic Trump. I mean, there's no one who
Didn't you in the past speak positively of Bloomberg?
Relative to Rudy Giuliani. I mean, he's better. I mean, Rudy Giuliani was a proto-fascist. When he was the DA of New York back in the 70s and 80s when I was growing up, I mean, he was a fascist then, Rudy Giuliani, and he was buddies with Trump back then. Michael Bloomberg, at least, I mean, he had this stop and frisk thing with, I mean, this is the typical racism of a lot of rich white people in the U.S., whether they're Jews or Christians or whatever. But, I mean, compared to Trump, yeah, he's better. But I wouldn't vote for him. I wouldn't vote for him. Yeah, again, I'm not going to vote for the lesser of two evils. You either put up someone who's good. So if Sanders gets screwed, I'm voting Green. I voted for Jill Stein in 2016. I should never have voted for Barack Obama. I will regret to my dying day voting for that fucking liar, because, yeah.
Even in his 2008
he didn't do anything. He didn't fulfill any of his fucking promises. He didn't support unions and card check. He didn't close Guantanamo Bay for the torture. He expanded drone strikes. He didn't end endless war. He didn't. I mean, he should have let some of the big banks fail and had people protected by the FDIC, their stuff. He should have let some of these banks fail, or he should have stimulated the economy more. He should have been more aggressive in appointing liberal judges. But Obama was a water carrier. He wanted to play the good Negro. He didn't want to offend. Fuck you, Obama. Obama. I mean, I could make an argument Obama was the best president of my lifetime. That says how bad this country has been. If Barack Obama is the best that's been able to be done in the 55 years that I've been alive, and he's the best, we're in trouble. And I,
What was the last good president was probably either Eisenhower or JFK, right?
I mean, JFK possibly he could have been. He was only 2.5 years. Eisenhower, I would probably say Truman in retrospect was probably the last good president. You know,
Your history's going. The history of America is going well.
well, I mean, this is a lot of people say that America is an empire in decline. America is not going to be the sole superpower that it was. But I mean, we're not in decline in the sense that the way the Roman Empire was. But the whole thing with global warming. I mean, we need a president that is going to be there. I hope Sanders gets above the 51% threshold, and I really hope. I hope, if for no other reason than to give Hillary Clinton a heart attack so that bitch dies, I hope he selects Tulsi Gabbard as his vice president, because Gabbard really got her good, and not only that, Gabbard is smart. I mean, I'm not big on this war, but on the other hand too, she also looks good in a bikini, so it would be nice to have a good looking female. Who knows if Sanders didn't run a second term or something? Who knows? She could end up. That would really kill Hillary Clinton if Tulsi Gabbard became the first female president.